Hi, I'm Rocket with Reckless Blenders, and this is Musings in Rocket Cellar. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the rules of wine. This comes courtesy of one of the other winemakers, Jim Brown. You'll hear me talk a lot about Jim Brown. He is our wordsmith, and he's personally inspired me in many ways to learn about wine, and he's taught me a tremendous amount. So the first rule of wine, and one of the most important rules, is wine that you like is good wine. It's simple, yet profound. So think about that. If you look at wine something publication and they say this is a 100-point wine, and you take a sip of it and you're like, I don't like it. Well, it's not good wine to you. So don't keep trying it. Find something else. So my recommendation, find wine that you like and really understand why you like it. So work on your palate to say, what are the things I like about this? Is it the mouthfeel? Is it the acidity or the brightness? Is it the boldness, right? Is it the balance, right? Is it just the flavors? Is it the nose? I mean, there's lots of things to look at when it comes to really understanding what you like about wine. Rule one of the most important rules, wine that you like is wine that's good. The second rule, and one of the most important rules, wine is fun. Again, simple and profound. You can get caught up, I can get caught up in, any of us can get caught up in all of the pomp and circumstance around wine and end up not having fun. That's not what we're in this for. The Reckless Blenders, the four of us, we're lucky in that we get to make wine. And we've kept production low and we keep low overhead so that we do get to make wine and we get to share that with you. And if we were to get a tasting room, or if we were to up our production, or if we were to get a second facility or whatever, then we'd have to make wine to keep our overhead, to manage our overhead. So right now, wine is absolutely fun. And I think you should have fun with it, right? There's a serious side to it, but not much. The last rule, and one of the most important rules, is there are no rules. I know, yeah, exactly. But let me give you a couple of examples of that. And again, courtesy of Jim Brown, he talks about the cork as simply an impediment. It's an impediment to getting the wine out of the bottle. And it's also, there's reasons for cork. It helps. It's elegant. It helps age the wine because there's micro oxygen goes through here and it helps age wine. But I got to tell you, I'm a fan of screw caps. Right? I'm a fan of cork and I'm a fan of screw caps, because screw caps are yet another way and a convenient way to be able to enjoy wine. You don't have to have a corkscrew with a screw cap. That's nice. The other one is the vessel. So if you have a nice vessel, great, use it. You've heard talk of some of the higher end glasses where they talk about the shape of the wine matches the type of wine and where it hits your tongue, and it's wonderful. And if you have access to those, use them, right? If you're out in your cellar and you're tasting something to see if you like it, that's a pain to clean, especially if you're doing a lot of tasting. If you're doing, a whole 3 or 4 palate checks, or your vertical tasting or any of that kind of stuff just to make sure you want to serve something, I wouldn't recommend having, 5 or 6 of these types of glasses. So these are fine too. Plastic glasses, you can get really nice looking ones, or you can get short ones, doesn't matter, as long as you're not getting some weird flavor from it. And they're easy to clean, and you can write on them. And I'll show you a tip about that in a second. But I tell you, to understand if you like a wine, one of the differences is, excuse me a second. Oh man, that's good. I'll talk about this wine in a second. What you do get out of these that you don't here is the nose. So when you go to taste, your nose is getting stuck into the glass. And I don't know what the percentage is, but a very high percentage of taste comes from smell. So you don't quite get the same thing here. Remember that trick I talked about earlier about putting your hand over the wine? That really helps. Anyway, so vessels. Use what you've got. Don't go too far on it, right? No rules. But let's talk about Sharpies, right? Sharpies are wonderful inventions. I love Sharpies. If you're at a party and you don't want to lose your glass of wine, you take a Sharpie and you write your name on the base, just like that. Now guess what? It wipes off. It takes a little bit of effort, but man, it's so much better than having to remember if you had the diamond or the toy train or whatever, those little, you know, the wine charm things, and they don't make all that noise. So very simple way to use Sharpies. And then if you're doing a vertical tasting, so if you wanted to, or you're doing multiple bottles of wine, you can just write right here on the side of this, you know, so it's a 13 Barbera, right? So I put a little 13B on there, boom, easy to go. This wipes up pretty quick as well. So let's talk a little bit about this wine. So Barbera in general. I'm going to talk about the history of Barbera at the Reckless Blenders, not really in depth. We've been making Barbera for a really long time. It's one of our best sellers. And I've opened up a 13 Barbera. There's not a lot of this left, if any. I think maybe there's a handful of bottles left on the planet. So if you happen to have one, right on. It's really good to enjoy right now. It's really peaking, and so definitely open it soon. But the Barbera has got this brightness. Now our Barbera in particular, we really concentrate on the brightness of the grape. There's Barberas that are out there on the market that are heavier and, you know, over oaked. We're not big fans of that. Sometimes they have too much alcohol. Not big fans of that either. We like balance. We like the brightness, lower on the alcohol. The brightness, Jim Brown introduced me to the brightness of this and would just say, man, it's just like a 9-volt battery on the tongue. And I took that when I went to create the label, I don't know how long ago, it's been a while, 15 years or so. And I thought, when I came across these glowworms or these wires or electric wires, I thought, man, that's perfect. So very iconic label, and it's one of my favorites. The other part to this is the story that Jim Brown tells on the back, and his back labels are known far and wide. So in this case, it's Bacchus, the Roman god of wine, dreamed one tempestuous night of a mighty river flowing red with fragrant wine. By the light of a new moon, he tossed in his toga as lightning flashed across the sky. Like the bright freshness of a perfect red wine rolling across the godlike palate, thunder rolled over the ancient Italian hills. Bacchus smiled that smile he reserved for his favorite among the naiads, the saucy sprite named Barbera. Her brash wit, stinging delivery, and her long-lasting humor amused Bacchus to no end. He called her a party in a bottle. We recklessly concur. Anyway, Jim Brown's musings and his writings always bring a smile to my face, and they always have great depth and meaning. He may not think so sometimes, but I think so. Anyway, so if you want to get some Barbera, we're going to offer online sales coming now. We've just launched our online store in this time of shelter in place and physical distancing. And we offer curbside delivery, as well as we will deliver to you. You have safe precautions that we're taking, or we'll ship to you via UPS. To do our part, we are offering some specials around the shipping costs. So we're trying to minimize the impact to you. And we're offering a handful of discount specials at the same time. I'll post those later in the Facebook feed, and there'll be an email coming out as well. This is April 10th is today, so just in case you need the time check on when this came out. With that, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for your support. I'm Rocket with Reckless Blenders, and this is Musing in Rocket's Cellar. Thank you.